Hello, everybody. I'm Rod Burks alongside Larry McCarren, the Packers Hall of Famer. Grat, you could stop by. Stop by after practice today. Let's start talking players. Let's start talking defense. Let's start talking about Mike Daniels. He's a guy you really like. Why do you like him so much, Larry?
Well, you're absolutely right. I do like him, and I liked him day one yesterday. I liked him just as much today. He's a slippery guy. He's going to be a hard guy for a blocker to sustain a block on. I mean, keeping him blocked is going to be trouble because he's got very quick hands, very quick feet, and he's got a nonstop motor. Now, he's not an imposing person physically. He's 6 feet maybe, 295, but that's not his game. That size and mass thing, not his game. He is a bang, bang, and get by you type guy. And he understands the leverage game, and at 6 feet, it comes quite naturally to him.
Yeah, but he's coming off a shoulder injury. Here's a guy who's coming back, and tomorrow's going to be a big day for him being in pads. I'll say Saturday. What are you expecting out of him? Are they going to hold him back? Is he going to play? I mean, that's going to be a big day for him in contact.
Well, so far in just shells, they let him do everything, and then you have more protection with pads. He's also wearing one of those braces, those little harness deals on his bad shoulder, or I don't even know if it's bad anymore, but it has not shown up in his play so far. I mean, he looks very quick with his hands, doesn't look like he's favoring his shoulder. But of course, as you mentioned, and rightfully so, tomorrow's a big step because then the hitting gets more serious.
Hey, let's talk about another guy that both of us like, and that's Jerel Worth. That guy seems like this stage isn't too big for this guy. He's got a smile out there. He's really enthusiastic. What do you like about him?
Well, that's the stage not being too big. That's a nice way to put it. My way of putting it is with Worthy. He's got a wild hair right where you know a wild hair or two. And you know what? In the big scheme of things, the Packer defense needs some of that. A little craziness, a little unpredictability. And the thing about Worthy, besides his explosive first couple steps, and he also uses his hands. I mean, the kid came from a big-time program. He knows what he's doing. But the thing I find very interesting about him, a lot of times rookies come in, and it's like, I'm going to be seen and not heard, and I'm going to be real respectful. Worthy, I mean, you can hear him at practice, and he's jazzing people around and, hey, let's get going, and he adds juice. And I thought it was interesting today, Charles Woodson talking about the energy, the juice those young fellows bring, and the king of that party is Jerel Worthy. I mean, he is very vocal, and for rookie, doesn't happen a lot. And number one, that brings energy to the defense, as Charles Woodson was talking about. But the other thing is it means the guy's confident. Like a guy that's not confident in his own abilities and is just worried, I don't know if I belong. He's not going to be that vocal, but Worthy is.
If these two guys work out, how much does it help out B.J. Raji, who's come off a subpar year last year?
It helps him out a ton, excuse the expression, because when you got two inside rushers, okay, in the Packers, nickel and dime, when they go to rush the passer, they got two inside pass rushers. Generally speaking, teams can afford to double team one of them. Now, if they can't consistently double team BJ, then that makes BJ's life easier. If they devote two bodies to him, I think Worthy and Daniels both have the ability to beat one-on-one blocking, and that's what you really want. Somebody gets doubled, fine, but the other guy's got to win who's got the solo blocker.
We're going to finish up with the guy, Nick Perry. Here's a guy who's switching positions, going from defensive line to outside linebacker. Here's a guy who's in the starting role right now. He's really going to have to play good for these guys to trigger everything.
Oh yeah, and you talk about the position switch. I think that's a big one, a legitimate thing to focus on, because he's going from a hand-down rusher to a stand-up rusher, and part of pass rush is explosiveness off the ball. Can he generate it from a stand-up position? Seems like he has. The other thing I notice about Nick Perry is that for a man that weighs, right now he's around 265, lost a little weight, 265, he moves like a much smaller man, and that should really pay dividends when he's asked to do the more athletic things like drop. But I'll tell you this, there's a lot of talk about that. Hey, can the kid drop? Can he do those things? They did not draft Nick Perry #1 to drop into coverage. They drafted him to rush the passer. Coverage, find your spot, be a football player. He's here to rush the passer.
He's Larry McCarren, bringing it strong, and I'm Rod Burks. That's it for the Web.